Jesus is God, undeniable proof from the Sabbath. The Sabbath mystery, what most people overlook. For centuries, people have debated whether Jesus is truly God. Many claim he was just a prophet, a great teacher, or even the Messiah, but not divine. But what if the answer was hidden in plain sight, in the very commandment that God called my holy day? The Sabbath is more than just a day of rest. It is the key that unlocks Jesus' true identity. And today, we will prove, beyond any doubt, that Jesus is God. The question is, will you believe what the Bible says? Step 1. The Sabbath, God's own possession. To prove that Jesus is God, we must first establish an unchangeable truth. The Sabbath belongs to God alone. Let's go to the Old Testament. Exodus chapter 20:10. But the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. God doesn't call it Israel's Sabbath or Moses' Sabbath. It is his own. Isaiah 58:13. If thou turn away thy foot from the Sabbath, from doing thy pleasure on my holy day. God directly calls the Sabbath my holy day. Ezekiel 20:12. Moreover also, I gave them my Sabbaths to be a sign between me and them, that they might know that I am the Lord that sanctify them. The Sabbath is a sign of who God is. Here's the undeniable truth. The Sabbath belongs to God. The Sabbath is God's sign. The Sabbath is proof of who God is. So if Jesus is not God, then he has no claim to the Sabbath. But what does Jesus say? Step 2. Jesus declares himself Lord of the Sabbath. In the New Testament, Jesus makes one of his boldest claims. Matthew 12:8. For the Son of Man is Lord even of the Sabbath day. Wait, the Sabbath belongs to God. It is God's holy day. It is the sign of the true God. Yet Jesus claims ownership of it. If the Sabbath belongs only to God, then when Jesus says he is Lord of the Sabbath, what is he declaring? That he is God. This is not symbolic. This is not a metaphor. Jesus is taking ownership of something that belongs exclusively to God. Imagine if someone walked into your house and said, I am the owner of this home. Wouldn't that mean they were either telling the truth or committing a crime? Likewise, either Jesus is truly God or he is guilty of blasphemy. Step 3. Jesus, the creator of the Sabbath. Let's go deeper. Who made the Sabbath? Genesis chapter 2:2-3. And on the seventh day God ended his work which he had made, and he rested on the seventh day from all his work. And God blessed the seventh day and sanctified it. The Sabbath was established at creation. But here's where it gets interesting. John 1:1-3. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. All things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made. Colossians 1:16. For by him were all things created that are in heaven and that are in earth. Who created the Sabbath? God. But who does the Bible say created everything? Jesus. If Jesus created everything, then he created the Sabbath. And if Jesus created the Sabbath, then he has every right to be its Lord. He is the God who made it. Step 4. What this means for skeptics. If Jesus is not God, then explain this. How can Jesus be Lord of the Sabbath if the Sabbath belongs to God? Why does God call the Sabbath my holy day in the Old Testament, but Jesus claims authority over it in the New? If Jesus is not the Creator, how does he have the right to claim ownership over the day that was set apart at creation? The answer is simple. Jesus is God. This is not an opinion. This is what the Bible declares, and no skeptic can disprove it. If you reject Jesus as God, then you must find one verse where the Sabbath belongs to someone other than God. Find one verse where Jesus says he is not God. Explain why the Bible consistently gives Jesus divine authority. You won't find any of those things, because the truth is undeniable. Jesus is the Lord of the Sabbath. Jesus is the Creator. Jesus is God.